Man, I haven't made a video since September of last year. And yes, I know, like, I keep on coming and then leaving. I just have that, I fall in the mood of doing videos. I have like a 3 month streak and then I just stop for some reason. I don't know what it is. I don't know. And like, I don't get uninspired or anything. Well, you could kind of call it, being uninspired. But I want to talk about something that's been bothering me for the last month. Um, I want to talk about the console wars and where this really originates from. People don't know this. A lot of gamers nowadays don't know shit about the history of gaming. Nothing, zip, zilch. And even I have to learn about certain things about gaming too, like deeper stuff, like with CPU, GPU, all that shit. I really don't know technical stuff about gaming. I just buy the console and play the game, and enjoy it for what it is. So this all started back in the '90s, around there, the early '90s, I believe, and it was Nintendo against Sega, and it was a real war between them. Like you saw it in magazines, Sega bashing on Nintendo, and Nintendo bashing on Sega. This was a real war between companies, So that's why I call it the real console war, because the companies are actually involved in this. Not like nowadays that the console wars is really made up by us, the fans. Back then we had commercials like Nintendo bashing on the Sega, saying that this game runs better on the Super Nintendo. This game looks better on the Super Nintendo. Literally, like games that were like third party, games, and you got Nintendo and Sega just talking mad shit about each other in a commercial. Like you got Sega saying, this game looks better on the Sega Genesis, and Sega does when Nintendo don't. If anybody that's in their 30s around there, they know what I'm talking about. And like right now, they're like having a trip to memory lane, man. A trip to memory lane. Man, you don't see that nowadays. You don't see Xbox saying buy Call of Duty because it looks better on the Xbox, or PS4 saying buy Call of Duty because Xbox don't have this exclusive. Like, don't you don't see that. It's more companies are more of they're very strategic. They don't insult their competitors. You know what I mean? So it's not really a war. Everything people want to put everything as a big war. Everything has to be competitive. McDonald's is better than BK. BK is better than Wendy's. Wendy's is better than freaking Papa John's. Well, that was a bad comparison, but you guys know what I mean. People want to make everything into this is better than this is better than that. Let's go back to the console war. So when Nintendo was gonna make their next gen, they went to Sony and they agreed that you know that Sony was gonna make a disc-based console. So Nintendo was gonna make a console that was disc-based. They had to go to Sony because Sony were the gods at the time, and yeah, they were gonna make the Nintendo PlayStation. So a lot of people don't really know that. So there you go. But then Nintendo pulls back from the project. I guess I don't know why. Forgot why actually. And I guess Sony was like, you know what? We do have this piece of hardware. Sega and Nintendo are doing well in selling consoles, and the gaming industry is growing more and more. Let's make our own console, and that's where the Sony PlayStation was born. A lot of y'all didn't know that. PlayStation came out, man. It was just revolutionary. Like that leap from 16-bit to like 32, I believe it was. I'm just gonna say 3D graphics. from that to like 3D graphics, man, it is something that no, like if you're not my age, you won't you I can't put it into words how glorifying that felt to just have you felt like you were in the future. Of course, right now the graphics are pure shit, but back then it was, man, what is this? And that lineup that Sony had, they had Tekken, they had Twisted Metal, they had Spiral, they had Banjo-Kazooie. Boy, they coming out with all big hitters, man. And it was like games aren't like that anymore. Like games don't just come out with big hitters at launch. Like you probably have like two little big hitters or like even one at launch. Well, because like games nowadays are harder to make, you know what I mean? So they need more time. Back then it was a little, it was more easier to make games. The library kept on growing. They had Digimon World. They had like Batman Beyond. They had all these amazing games. And me being a Nintendo, I'm more to the side of Nintendo. I bought a PlayStation. I bought one, and bro, like it was great, man. PS1 was great. Back then, gaming back then was just something else. It was more pure than what it is now. You can tell back then they really cared about the consumer. They really cared about putting out games with quality. And Nintendo came out with the Nintendo 64, boy. Boy, they came out with Mario 64. Oh, man. Sony was like, it was just going a little downhill for them for a second there. Just a little second, not that much. Then Smash Bros. Came out, man. We had Donkey Kong 64, I believe it was. Perfect Dark Zero. Oh, sorry. Perfect Dark. We had Banjo-Kazooie. We had Goemon. Goemon, whatever you want to call that shit. Man, we had a lot of games. Man, so many games I've played for both consoles. And I just can't pick. I can't pick which one is the best one. I got more memories with the Nintendo 64. But it's just, I don't know. I just can't put them. I can't pick the best one. I can't do that. To me, I don't know. I like them both. I have fun with both. If it comes down to the games, I think I played a little bit more my Nintendo because of Smash Bros. Man, at this point, I really don't know what happened to Sega. I heard they were doing really bad. They didn't come out with like competitor and stuff like that. Like I guess the Dreamcast was on the works at that time, but I'm not really sure about Sega. I don't know that much about Sega. What happened to them. I just know that the most relevant thing at that time was Sony and Nintendo. That's it. Like you got a PlayStation, cool. You got 64, awesome. Sony made a commercial of their Crash Bandicoot game, and it was a guy dressed up as Crash Bandicoot, and he was outside of Nintendo headquarters, and he just started to like bash Nintendo. It was hilarious. After that, I've noticed, like when I was a kid, I've noticed how the Nintendo and Sony just stopped going after each other, really. And I guess because they're focusing more on their next gen, the GameCube and the PS2. So Microsoft was like, "Hey, you know what? We want to hop in." And when I heard that Microsoft was making their own console, I was laughing. A lot of us were like, "What the fuck? Microsoft's making a console, nigga? They make computers." And lo and behold, we got a glimpse of the Xbox at E3 back in, I think it was in the 2000s, I think it was. And yeah, man, PS2, the GameCube, all that came out around what? 2002, 2003, around there. Yeah, I was like 12 or 13 at the time. And I guess that's how the war really ended. It just, PS2 came out and it dominated the market. Everybody had a PS2. On Dreamcast, Sega, that was their last Hoorah! Really, the Dreamcast was an amazing console, but it just did bad because it got overshadowed by the PS2. Everything got overshadowed by the PS2, bro. So I guess if you want to look at it, Sony won the console war. They won at the time. Because it was really it was companies against each other. Nowadays, it's not like that. It's not really like that. It's like Microsoft. Microsoft said recently that Sony is not their competitor. They said this. So the war ended a while back. Now, when the 360 and PS3 came out, people rekindled that. You know what I mean? Because let's be honest. The 360 and PS3 were more powerful than the Wii. So I guess people just set the Wii aside. So, but let's bring facts. In the 7th generation, everybody had a 360. Everyone had a 360, bro. And the beginning of that gen, everyone bought a 360. PlayStation 3 was $600 when they announced it. It took them 3 years, I think, or 2, to tone it down to at least $300, bro. But in that time frame, everybody had a 360 because it was more cheaper. It was like 3 something, I believe. PS3 was a luxury to have. It was expensive at first. Then it went down. Then people started to buy it. But everybody had a 360, bro. Everybody had one. Almost everyone had a 360. Now, when the PS4 and the Xbox came out, that's when the game changed. Because the Xbox was $500 and the PS4 was $400. Who do you think? What console you think people are gonna go towards to more likely to go towards to? PS4. So believe it or not, the people that were on Xbox 360, a shitload of them migrated to the PS4. This is why PS4, party lobbies and games, game lobbies are toxic because the majority of people on the PS4 migrated from 360. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying about that. Tell me I'm lying. Oh, PS4 is what it is now. It's a exclusive juggernaut, and there's way more Sony ponies than I've ever seen in my life now. Way more. People just bandwagon. But let's get this down to the T, man. We all know the superior console is the Xbox. It's just a better machine. I have all 3. It's a better machine than the PS4. But all that power with no games, you got Halo, Gears of Forza, compared to PS4. That's why they outsold the Xbox. Xbox got no games. They got no games. You know what I mean? They got no exclusives. Sony beats Microsoft. They have more exclusives. But yeah, that's about it, man. Like, I don't see why people want to fight over this shit. At the end of the day, it's all about having fun, enjoying the games you like, no matter what console you want. If you want more power, you go on Xbox. If you want to play, more exclusive, go on PS4. Pick. Because at the end of the day, man, people play more third-party games. And let's be real. You guys play way more third-party games. So it don't matter who you pick. You're still going to get the game on that console. So I don't know why everybody fighting over the consoles and shit like that. Like, there's fights on Instagram. It's sad how delusional the Sony fanboys are. It's sad. But like I said, Sony is having the upper hand when it comes to exclusivities. So, yeah. Well, that wraps things up. I'm Joe Bajito. We're playing is believing, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.